So I took a look around her neck, and I mean, as I suspected, I'm not sure I can really make out a normal thyroid gland per se, but she just has so many kind of mass-like lesions in the neck. The one side just all looks like kind of abnormal edematous tissue. It's really hard to discern what's going on in there.
Okay.
I did sample a couple different areas.
Okay.
When I look at the slides, I'm potentially concerned that this might be salivary gland in origin, not thyroid, which would make sense since it's higher up on her neck.
Okay.
Oftentimes when we see thyroid tumors, they're closer down almost to like their, collarbone, like that area.
Okay.
What I would like to do, I don't know 100% if the slide's going to be diagnostic. There's lots of inflammation and other things, but I would like to send them off for a pathologist to review and see if they're able to give us an answer.
Okay.
I would like to change her pain meds around like we talked about.
Okay.
Ooh, she's licking up some baby food right now.
Okay, good.
For some, I don't know, there's a lot of juice. Is it Vienna sausage or baby food? She's eating turkey sausage sticks, baby turkey sausage sticks.
Okay.
But I think baby food would also be a good idea for her.
Okay.
But she's very excited about that. And actually, those little turkey sausage sticks, they're like the, nasty little Vienna sausages.
Yeah.
Those might be good to, shove pills in because they're nice and soft.
Okay.
To put her pills in between. What I would like to do is reach out to the radiation oncologist in town with what information we have and say, hey, if this is salivary, if we're not able to prove it with the cytology, kind of get his experience and if he thinks she's a good candidate or not.
Okay.
In the meantime, about her medications, the Galliprant, is that something that she's been on for a while for her back leg, or was that newly introduced because of all of this stuff that's going on?
She got it prescribed to her last Tuesday.
Okay, so it's a new medication?
Yeah, she had never been on any medications until last week.
Okay.
Yeah. So whatever you want to do, we could do.
Okay. I'm trying to decide if I think there would be any more benefit from a steroid, but the issue with that is we have to do a little bit of a washout period. You can't go straight from Galliprant, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, to a steroid, because there's a high risk of like a GI ulcer. What I was thinking about doing, especially if you haven't seen any improvement on the Galliprant, would be going to a more traditional non-steroidal anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
So just to give you a little background, that class of drugs, they're called NSAIDs for short. That's the same thing as like ibuprofen, Aleve, things that we commonly take. All of those classic traditional ones block a receptor called, that's abbreviated COX. Galliprant is a newer NSAID that blocks prostaglandin instead, so it's supposed to have less side effects than more traditional NSAIDs. But the traditional NSAIDs are shown to have some anti-cancer effects that I don't know that Galliprant, since it's blocking inflammation so much further downstream, is going to share those same properties. So I think that a more traditional NSAID might help her more.
Okay.
And that's something that we could switch straight to.
Okay.
Usually Galliprant is prescribed as kind of a safety precaution if we don't have blood work on a dog, because it's less likely to cause any issues with the liver or kidney, so that might have been why it was chosen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like
that vet didn't do any blood work. He just was like, give her these meds.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, she's had recent blood work, and her kidney and liver values are fine. Okay. So I think we'll switch to something, a different NSAID. So you'll stop the Galliprant for now and see if this other NSAID is more effective.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, we're going to start her on a drug called gabapentin.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people have heard of gabapentin.
Yeah, my mom took it when she had cancer.
Yeah, it's for nerve-related pain, and if that like TMJ area is involved at all, I'm 100% sure that those nerves are getting fired. So gabapentin can help with that, and gabapentin works best when it's with an anti-inflammatory, so giving those two medications together.
Okay.
I'll put a little bit of a dose range on the gabapentin. I always like to start it super low, because if you jump right into it, dogs can have some hind-end weakness or what's called ataxia, where they are walking kind of like they're drunk, and obviously she has enough hind-end issues.
Yeah.
But if you start low and gradually go up to a higher dose, we don't tend to see that that issue. And so I'll put a dose range of probably like 1 to 3 capsules on the label, and start with 1 for a few days, and as long as she's tolerating, I would start to kind of ramp up.
Okay.
In the meantime, we'll get the samples sent out. I'll call Dr. Truel at VCA and get his advice on her case.
Okay.
And I'll follow up with you as soon as I have more information, okay?
Okay. And so we're...
You okay with all that?
Yeah. And I don't need to... We're not going to leave her here. I'm going to take her home now. Soon-ish.
Yes,
okay.
Correct. Yes, as soon as I get the medications put in and get the pathology request submitted, I will send you an invoice to your email.
Okay, perfect.
There'll be a link for you to pay online. If you have any issues, or if you don't have a credit card or care credit, if you need to pay some other way, let us know and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I'll get working on her medication doses, and we'll have her back out to you very shortly, okay?
Thank you.
No problem. Nice to meet you both.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.